Yo, 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 yo. It's me. I like that. I like that yesterday. I like doing the live broadcasts. Um, Let me check right now. I'm gonna look for ways for me to see the comments. Just see the comments. Make sure I see comments. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see if I can put it on my phone. Watch myself on my phone. And hey, what's up, first viewer? I'm gonna see if I can watch myself on my phone so I can see the comments because I don't see comments when I go on this. So let me see. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right, go to YouTube. 10 people? Goddamn shit. You, you guys got no jobs? You guys have no jobs? up this early on YouTube, man. Oh man. Right, one second. Let me see if I can see myself live. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna do like a little rehearsal for a video that I'm gonna do. It's on like finding inner peace. And I'm gonna start. I'm gonna tell you guys how I usually do it. You know, let's wait for people to start coming in. You know. Rehearsal for a video that it's on like finding inner peace. Yeah, one second. One second. Let me see if I can see the live chat. There you go. All right. Okay, I see the live chat. Okay, let me take my face out of here, man. This is weird. Look at myself. Let me put the video down. All right, now that's good. Okay. Yeah, if you're at work, you know, make sure to put the volume down. Okay, don't get fired. All right, let's not get fired because of me. I don't give advice on how to find jobs. That's not my area. Okay. By the way, if you guys want to get a good book, I'm gonna leave the link. This is called The Transparency of Things, and that's what I'm going to base my videos about. If you guys want a good teacher on like mindfulness, you should check out Rupert Spira. Rupert Spira. He's actually an extremely good teacher. He's like Eckhart Tolle, but to me, he's more clear. It's more practical. Like he really breaks it down, man. It's like he's like the equivalent of I don't know, He just breaks presence down and all that sort of stuff. So let's get started, okay? All right. I'm not gonna be able to do normal videos this week, you know, where I'm talking on the camera and stuff like that, cause I made some commitments, so I'll be a little busy. But you'll definitely start seeing my new videos up next week, okay? Because I'm gonna be changing things up. Like I told you, the whole saying yes to people, like for clients, it became a lot of people, so I couldn't be able to make videos. So I gotta, you know, keep my word, and by next week, hopefully I'll put down the load so I can start making more videos. Hey, don't call me by my name. Call me Alex, okay? This is YouTube. All right, so let me see. Let me see if I can find this. All right, so I'm gonna start right now. How many people we have here? You know, 21. It's not enough, okay? It's not enough. I like having a lot of people. It makes me feel good. Okay, let's just start. All right, so this video is about how to find the inner peace. And again, this doesn't mean I'm a fucking guru, okay, or some monk or an enlightened individual. I'm far from being enlightened. Heck, like one day I may find a spiritual teacher so that they can mentor me and stuff like that. But this is what I know, for what I've learned, and from the sources that I learned from. And this is something that, from everything that I know, I believe this is the best way to find peace, okay? And let's get started, okay? So this is all based on my notes and highlights from this book, The Transparency of Things by Rupert Spira. Like the way that he explains things, like I said earlier, it's amazing. It's pretty crazy how simple he makes spirituality seem, right? So let's get started. So we're gonna be using deep sleep as a way to give you an example of what inner peace is all about, all right? So let's get started. When we transition from deep sleep to dreams, or you know when you're in deep sleep, like you're sleeping, okay, and there's nothing there, you're just in sleep, okay. But then there's something when you transition into your REM sleep, when it's not blank anymore, but you see actually dreams, you start seeing things. That's the transition from deep sleep into dream. We slowly see the free-flowing objects in our minds as they appear and create our dream world. You know, for example, right? You know when you're dreaming, right? When you're dreaming, and when you're not dreaming, all right? When you're not dreaming, it's blank, but suddenly you notice yourself you're in a dream. But what happened between being in a dream and being in deep sleep, okay, it was a slow transition. You started seeing little things. You started hearing little sounds. Like the dream world arises very smoothly and very suddenly, almost as though from going from day to night. You only notice you went from day to night as soon as it's nighttime, you see. So that's what happens. But what arises is, what's a space that allows those things to occur? Because you notice when you're in a dream, you have senses. You know, like you actually have senses when you're in a dream. Like you actually touch things, you actually see, hear, feel things, taste things. It feels real. But how do those occur? It occurred in that space of consciousness when you were in a deep sleep. All right, but I'm getting ahead of myself, okay? Because I have to read this because it's good for me, because I gotta get used to this. Okay, so as you see, the dream world, the images you see in the dreams arises without you controlling them. They are the workings of your mind and how perturbed you are. You see, like those things that arise are the things in your mind. And so the deep sleep, the emptiness, is the consciousness, right? The objects that arise in your dreams are the objects of your mind, okay? And also those objects are also your senses. They're also the perceptions that you have, the senses that feel real. See, the perception and sound slowly arise in that space of knowing, the emptiness. The perceptions that arise become part of our faculties, even though they're being self-generated. Isn't that crazy, right? The perception that arise in our dreams, in our imaginary world, right, are the perceptions that we feel in our dreams, in our real state, to the point that we even confuse reality with the dream world. You see, but what's really going on is that those perceptions, those faculties, are being self-generated. Think about that. Isn't that a little crazy, right? What's generating that? We're gonna keep going, okay? Because I don't want to get ahead of myself. There are no objects in deep sleep, and that's why we have no memory of deep sleep, okay? But not having any memory of it doesn't prove the fact that it didn't occur. You see, just because we don't remember deep sleep doesn't mean we don't know it happened, because we feel it. We feel it in the residualness, in the deep sense of peace that we feel when we wake up. When we wake up, as soon as we wake up, we don't think of our problems. We usually feel a deep sleep, right? And we feel that peace inside of us. When we are in a peaceful sleep, okay, you don't remember it, but you know you had it. You were there, and it's very peaceful. You see, but it isn't peaceful when you. Okay, see, I'm fucking up. But when it isn't peaceful is when you get out of deep sleep, which is when we experience objects without identifying. You see, when a deep sleep isn't peaceful, it's when we go from emptiness to objects, which is from deep sleep to the dream state. You see, like we start seeing things, we may get perturbed, we might see nightmares. Like that's when that's when your sleep cycle suddenly becomes a little crazy. Or we may wake up, transition from deep sleep, from pure consciousness, because there's nothing there in deep sleep, to awakenness, which is more object based. That's when we experience a bad sleep per se. You see, that's when we don't feel that peace. All right. So I'm getting somewhere here. As you see, deep sleep is peaceful. It's when we are just conscious, when there's no objects. You see, that's when we experience the most peace, when there's no objects in consciousness. All right. This consciousness is underneath all experience. You see, underneath, because it's self-generated. Like even your senses right now are being generated by your consciousness, which is the same thing that generates your dreams, that generates the pseudo senses you feel in your dreams that feel real are the same. It's being generated by the same consciousness that you experience in the now. You see? So what was I going with this? I'm reading over this. All right, so which means that there's peace. So as we see, in a deep sleep, there's peace. You see, why? Because it's pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is peace because it's not perturbed by objects. As we see in every experience, that means in every experience we have, there's peace underneath it if we know how to find it. You see, there's peace underneath every problem if we know how to look for it. But if you identify with the object, which is the problem in your life, what you perceive to be the problem, you will never look underneath it and find inner peace. You see, you will always look on the outside for happiness. All right, we're getting somewhere here. At no point of, okay, which means that there's peace in all things as long as you surrender by being present. At no point of during wake state and deep sleep does consciousness change? But the objects do, and it's a manifestation that do. You see, at no moment in your life, no matter the objects that arise, does your consciousness change. You see, the pure essence of yourself change. Only the objects. You see, when you were a baby, you had a different body, different perception, different brain. Everything was different, but you were still there. Even though if you don't remember, you were still there. You see, there's pictures of you when you were a little kid. You were still there. You don't remember, but you were there. Trust me, you were there. You see, that thing that I was aware hasn't changed. Maybe your faculties have improved, and so your perception has. But the underneath, the consciousness that makes everything animated hasn't changed. Okay, so we're gonna get somewhere with this. The consciousness has a way to perceive. When you are high on drugs, okay, you see, when you're high on drugs, you're still there. You see, when you're on drugs, even though your perceptions change, you're still there. Like, you cannot change that one part, all right? They are states. These are states, and they only last for a period of time, but the awareness stays the same. You see, we change our states, everything changes, but what's underneath everything, which is the consciousness, stays the same, all right? So I'm getting somewhere here. If it is true that all perception happens in consciousness rather than consciousness inside the perceived objects, you see, then that means there's no perceived difference between the outside world and the inner world, because they occur in the same space of consciousness. Your thoughts, emotions, and the world that it happens in occurs in consciousness. There are no real boundaries between you and the outside world. There's no difference between you and the perceived world. Then why are you afraid of things? You see, why are you afraid of circumstances? If there's no actual difference, that means you're focusing on the objects. That means you're not conscious. That means you're identifying with things. See, when you become more conscious, you're able to see underneath all of the things, and you're able to have more compassion. You're able to see things, and as a result, you're able to not to react, because they all occur in the same space. But we're getting somewhere here, because I know this looks very abstract and very, you know, woohoo and all that shit. But we're going somewhere with this. Okay. Or you didn't get some notification because maybe you don't have me notified on that move. How many people are watching? Anyways, let me see. 25. Okay. There are no perceived distance between the outside world and the inner world. Okay. So in other words, the point is this: is that because I'm looking at this, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this should be maybe put better. Okay. The point is that you're not your mind, all right? I was just putting this out there. Okay, any questions? You guys are like, that's it? That's it? You know, I think you were going somewhere with this. Yeah. No, I wasn't. I was just looking at this. A lot of the times, look, this is how I make my videos. A lot of the times, I rehearse a lot of notes that I have, and I see if there's any continuity. And if there's any continuity, I'll put it on video and save it. If there isn't, I'll just scratch it off, and it happens a lot. And that's because what I like to do is I like to read, right? Oh shit! I like to read a lot of my books, right? And I like to take the notes, and then I like to take some of those notes and make it into notes, you know, fucking notes, right? And if it doesn't turn out to a video, I'll keep reading and reading, and sooner or later it turns into a video. But that's what I feel like allows me to always, you know, bring a unique perspective, because I don't throw away my notes. Like, I keep them there, and I keep reading them. And what tends to happen is that a lot of times when we read books, we remember a lot of good things, right? And we always noticed that there were like 4 or 5 concepts that in every book that were really, really fascinating, right? And we just rely on our working memory to remember. You know, we were like, okay, I'll remember that, right? But you never do. You see, and so what I like to do is I like to use as an advantage the fact that people don't do that. Such a simple concept. The fact that people don't do such a simple concept, I said to myself, you know what? If I just do that one thing, I'm gonna be more different than everyone else. Egoic in nature, right? And that's what happened. You see, I kept my notes. I review them 10 to 15 minutes a day. I just look at them and I try to see if I can make a video out of them. If I don't make a video out of them, nothing bad happened, because 1, I could review the video for future reference. Okay. 2, I could use those videos and post them on YouTube for people who are my subscribers. They'll get the notifications if they have the notification, right? And 3, I rehearse something and I remember them more, and I'm able to remember it more in different situations. So it's a win-win for me to do this. And a lot of times, for most of my days, that's what I usually spend doing. For most of my days, I usually spend usually my evenings reading and trying to remember stuff and stuff like that, you know. But I don't really read as much as people think they do. What I like to do is I like to review a lot. That's what I like to do. I like to review a lot of my notes, and I like to extract the important information and focus on those. And then what I do is I just think about that. I just think about it and look for example in daily life. And that's when you fucking apply it. When you're consciously thinking of a subject and just looking for examples. Once you see an example, you'll remember it. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, you just remember like that. And it is fascinating me because the reason why I remember these concepts is because every single time I read is for an actual need. Is because I'm fucked up. It's because I'm fucked up in the head. So I know that I need that you know, I'm always looking to take an advantage because I'm naturally can't focus too well, naturally very impulsive, naturally if I don't watch out, I normally lose control. Like, I let my habits get the best out of me. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's pickup, I'll do pickup in an obsessive manner. If it's basketball, I'll play basketball in an obsessive manner. So I have to continually be watching out. As I said, like, it looks like a weakness, but because of that weakness, it enables me to be a lot more aware than most people. Not because I'm better, but because the way I am requires me to do that. As a result, you overcompensate. You don't know how far you go relative to most people. But the only reason why you go so far is because you think everyone else is as weak as you. And as a result, you get good at things fast, you know? I mean, when counseling, being self-aware is the most important thing with counseling, because a counselor who's not self-aware gets burnt out fast. You see, a counselor who's not self-aware will respond to their clients in a very negative manner. You just don't notice, but the thing is that people don't notice that people feel your state. People don't react to what you say. People don't react to what you do. Okay, if you're killing them, they'll react to that. But people mostly react to the emotions that drive the things you say and the things you do. You see, if you come, for example, I used to be a counselor too, right? I was in a master's degree, but I used to counsel people. I can't say I counsel. I used to be a caseworker, but you do counseling. It's rip off. Like, I fucking had to do counseling. I mean, come on, man. You try to be slick. But the point is that I remember the more I worked with that, I came every day tired, pissed off. Like, the days I was depressed, I had to help people, act like I was interested, right? And it was just bad, man. Like, I felt like it was horrible. And that's when that's when you don't become effective to your clients. And as a result, they get affected, you see. And the most important thing with a counselor is self-awareness, like you said. Like, self-awareness, because if you're not self-aware of your challenges, that means you're not self-aware of other people's challenges. And the reason why I feel like I'm able to relate to you guys is because I brought that self-awareness to seduction, not from an animalistic perspective, like, oh yeah, I need to fuck girls now, but more for like, interesting, how can I improve the process? Let me look at this part of the process. What am I doing wrong here? Right? And it requires you to actually remove yourself from the situation and see your mistakes as actual mistakes rather than a confirmation of your identity. Like, it requires you to disidentify from a lot of gender roles, from a lot of gender identities that you have as a result of the culture that you were living in, and able to analyze your mistakes in an objective manner without you having a meltdown. You know, and that's what happens. So if somebody doesn't text you back, you don't say, why do they not like me? You know, like inherently speaking, you say, what did I do wrong? You see, and then you're able to find solutions. But if you're so into yourself, always looking at what you're doing wrong because you just are like that, you can't change. You can't look at your mistakes objectively because it's facing reality, a reality you cannot change. But when you know that you could change reality by changing the way you perceive yourself, suddenly it becomes more of a hunt for the prey that's inevitable. You become the hunter. You see, and your problems become the prey. Your prey that you know is afraid, but will put up a front as soon as you confront it. You see, like, it's a pussy. You know, problems like your inner demons are little pussies, man. You just gotta get and confront them, all right? And it's difficult. It's difficult because you feel weak as soon as you confront them. But it's one of those things that you only feel the power once you're about to get struck, and you notice that at the last second, nothing happens. But you got to take that risk. You see? So guys are only interested in hooking up but not having a relationship. Thank you. Is that sarcastic? No, I'm not. No, you're not being sarcastic. No, they're not. Oh no, a lot of guys are. A lot of guys are emotional. Like, a lot of guys, they want a girlfriend. All right, But the people, look, the thing is that people want relationships for the wrong reason. It's very rare that you see people want relationships for the right reason. If you're sad and depressed and you want someone to make you happy, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. If you have low self-esteem and you want a guy just because other people want him, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. If you're doing it because he rejected you, you're doing it for the wrong reason. If you're doing it just because you have kids, you're doing it for the wrong reason. I'm not saying that doing it because of kids is bad, but I'm saying that the real reason why people should get with people, okay, biologically speaking, is to fuck and have kids. Okay. But the other part, it should be not because they need, but because they have something to give. And they see you and you want to give something. Like you have such a full cup that there's nothing else but to give. You can't get. So you get a relationship where two people are giving. That's utopian, right? That's not possible, but it is possible. It just takes effort. I mean, it's hard, right? I mean, we're here. Like, you know how fucking difficult, you know, the chances of fucking humans being on this earth are. I mean, just the mere fact of having life on earth is a chance, let alone having all of the mass extinctions and us being, it's insane. So the point is, it's something, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah. So we should not look at it. No, don't look at that as wrong, man. Like, God's all like that. You have to have compassion. Treat them as kids. Because if you're reacting, that means you're it's kind of like being in a school project, right? Where you're the one doing all the hard work and everyone's not doing the hard work. You see? You're playing by different rules. You care, they don't care. So what do you gotta do? Change partners. Find a new group. Like, and so most people are like that, and you gotta understand that not everyone. You just gotta deal with it, man. Like, it's part of the game. Like, it's just part of the game. With guys should say, I just want a girl to have sex with. Why is that so hard? Women say, I just want a guy who commits. Why is that so hard? It's the same shit, man. We're all complaining. Just because you want a relationship doesn't make you any more moral. Just because you want sex doesn't make you any more moral. Whatever. Like, it's just different biological needs. We should get mad at nature. Nature's a fucking dickhead. Like, what could okay, let me not talk bad about nature. Even though nature is the one that has no conscience and just does some crazy shit. Like, I don't know. Like, when you just look at the world, you just say, damn, nature, you're scary. I'm like, damn, you got no compassion, nature. We're taught to get, yeah, you see, religion, see, that's the thing. See, religion is hard, man. See, that's the point. See, I always say, pick the right person, pick the right victim. Pick the right victims because of Robert Greene. I just like saying it because it provokes people. But pick the right person because in life, you don't get to choose your parents. You're born. You don't get to choose your culture. You're born to it. You don't get to choose where you're born. But you do get to choose your partner, depending on your religion. Okay, so that's the thing. You see, so I don't know. You got to find a Muslim addict. I don't know. I'm kidding. No, but seriously, though, like, it's difficult when it comes to that. Like, I don't know. I don't try to act like I know everything. That's one that I wouldn't know what to do, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's life is a complicated issue. One thing that I know is that in life, don't resist. Like, do what you can, but when you know you can't do nothing else, you gotta accept it. You know, you have to accept it. You can't resist. Have to, like, try to do your best. It's like being in traffic. I always say, when you're in traffic, there's nothing you can do. Why are you mad if there's nothing you can do? You know, you just give up trying until the traffic moves. It's the same thing with life. Like, try your best, but if you cannot change it, I mean, there's some parts you just cannot change, unfortunately. You know. What would my Muslim name be? I don't know. Let me not go there. Let me see. Yeah, I look at a lot of dating advice. You know, I was looking at YouTube. I Google a lot of dating advice. It's pretty shitty. Yo, it's like so many roses and petals. It's like, hey, ladies, you want some dating advice? Like, it's just be yourself. You know, deserve, like, you know, like, I don't know what it says, like, don't ever let the man not take control or some shit like that. It's just like so disempowering, so pussyfied advice, you know? It's like people are afraid to really say what really gets to people's heads. Like, they don't like to use the word manipulate because it looks bad, right? And you know what's crazy? You know, the hypocrisy, even in me, is that in my other channel, I never used the word manipulate. I never used dark tactics because I always saw it as immoral, right? But somehow it's okay to teach women. Isn't that hypocritical? I find that hypocritical on my part, to be perfectly honest with you. That is extremely hypocritical. How the hell do I put videos on how to hack his mind or how to control and manipulate a man? You know, how to disempower him, how to make him weak. Imagine if I put that on the women's, how to make her weak, how to disempower her, how to manipulate a woman. Jesus fucking Christ. Yo, Donald Trump would call me up and put me in his office. But I'm kidding. You know, I don't mind Donald Trump, right? He's just such an easy bait. Like, yo, this guy is a gift to comedy. All right, he's like a gift in the platter. He's an easy layup. You know, he's an easy layup. Like, it's insane how many jokes you can say about that guy. But I don't mind him. If you guys see my videos, you'll know that my belief on people is you gotta learn how to deal with problems and find your way out of it. You see, and I look at things in a very pragmatic way, and from there you might decipher what I might believe in. You know, because I try to look at things, and for example, I try to look at things and ask and try to understand both sides. And with a lot of issues in life, people don't want to hear both sides. You see, people don't want to hear both sides. People don't want, for example, like with cases with, for example, like hitting people, like don't hit people, right? That's obvious, right? Of course you shouldn't hit people. That's wrong, right? Can you hit a woman? Oh, wait a minute. No. Don't hit a woman under any circumstance. Oh, okay. Can you hit a man? Oh, well, you know, maybe, you know, if we hit you. Okay. I see. You see those things, like you make a phrase, don't hit people. Of course, everyone agrees, right? So emotions is what tends to create those biases. And so what I like to do is I like to look through those emotions, and through those emotions comes a lot of resistance. It comes a lot of name calling and a lot of assumptions, because you're able to look through the veil. You're able to look through because looking through the veil looking through humanity a lot. It means looking through sensitive things. It's just looking at it from a pragmatic way, you know. And it's very difficult, you know. It's very difficult to do that, but you have to, because somebody needs to shine the light through the veil of emotions. You see, somebody has to do that. Well, you make video how to get the date and how to get him to show up onto the date. Okay, look, you see, let me give you something, okay? This is what a lot of dating coaches will never be able to understand, because I went through it. When it comes, I'm gonna give you my perspective from teaching women. The question was, how do I get the guy to the date? The date, okay? See, how do I get the guy to the date? To show up for the date. In life, when I teach pickup, I tell guys this. In the beginning, you're gonna get the girl. The most difficult part is being able to approach the girl, okay? And guys get happy. Oh, I'm able to approach the girl. That means I'm gonna get pussy. Nope. Next, you gotta learn how to, you know, start the conversation and not make it creeped out. They learn how to do that. Oh, okay, cool. That means I can get her number. Nope. Now you gotta learn how to make her attracted and learn attraction, like push pull, being hot and cold. They learn that. They get a reaction. They make her laugh. Oh, now I can get her number. Nope. Now you gotta learn how to get her number and get her to text you back. You see, they get her their number and they get him to text her back, right? But now he's like, oh, now I can go on the date. Nope. Now you actually gotta let her to agree to go on the date and not give you the excuse that she's busy. After that, you gotta get to the point where she's gonna meet you at the date. After that, you gotta get to the point where you're able to have a good conversation on the date. So many different phases, but the most important phase is that if the person doesn't like you, they're not gonna see you. So working on sending the right text or you know, saying the right phrase doesn't work, because it doesn't nullify how you fucked up. It doesn't nullify how you're coming through. The self is always coming through. The self is always coming through. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter how you fake it. The self will always come through. You see? So you need to work on yourself. You need to learn how to be polarizing. You need to have more boundaries. You need to learn how to fuck with people more. Okay. And a lot of my videos are based on that. So watch those videos. The video that I really recommend is what's the best video on attraction, is how to make them weak for you. How to make them weak for you, and the two-step process, the hot and cold method. There you see that's the fundamentals attraction. You see, because I genuinely get very surprised when people need my coaching. You know, because it's pretty insane how I was looking through the content yesterday. It's like smelling my own shit. I was looking through the content yesterday, and I'm like, yo, these videos are fucking long. I'm like, holy shit, these videos are long. Like, I talk a lot, yo. I talk a lot. Holy shit. But I'm happy you guys are watching it. That's a good thing. It's a good thing that you guys are watching it. Well, it sounds like he may be talking to other girls. Huh, interesting. Sounds like he may be talking to other girls. What would I do if I was talking to other girls? Well, obviously, it's if he's less intense around you, less physical. I mean, he has to transfer that sexual intensity to somebody else, right? Or an overbearing feeling of guilt. You may notice that he's suddenly praising you. You may notice that he just, looks at you with guilty eyes, something like that. Or he may give you a gift suddenly, like suddenly if you're not seeing him often, and then suddenly he brings you gifts. That may be him trying to, maybe help him feel better. But also the fact that he's not seeing you says, oh, since I haven't seen her doing this, let me make her feel better to remove all guilt. But again, like the biggest one is withdrawal. Withdrawal, the biggest one. Should I continue talking to this guy who don't plan to get married? He's honest from day one. He has no plans, but I really like him. I mean, like you can't have your cake and eat it, man. Like some guys are just not into marriage. Like you gotta understand, to some guys, marriage is a contract. You say, all right, what's half of this? Like it's a contract to most guys. What I want you to do is find out, what does marriage mean to you? How does that affect your happiness? What emptiness does that fulfill in you? You really want to find out what fantasies does it fulfill, and what happens when the fulfillment of that fantasy is not there, and observe it. Because you need to look at the root of the emotions, because that emotion in and of itself may be controlling a lot of the emotions, and it may be giving off bad vibes, and it may be affecting your relationships. Like those deep emotions of fantasies, you got to find out why you fantasize about them, because they're so intense that they're creating a virtual reality in your mind, and they arise from certain emotions, and they branch out to different areas. So you got to find out what the root causes that, not through finding out the factual facts, but by just observing the root emotion and accepting it, being okay with it, having compassion for it, and it's going to transmute into peace. And you may notice that your desire to get married may even fade away, and then suddenly he wants to get married. A lot of times to actually get the things that you want, you gotta not care. It's weird. Like in basketball, if you want to make more jump shots, don't care if you miss. You see, when it comes to talking to girls, if you want to get better with girls, don't care about her not liking you back. You see, stuff like that, you actually genuinely have to not care. And if you can't fake, you gotta fake it in the beginning, and then it's gonna be part of you. Is there a way to start over after he stopped responding? Yeah. If a guy stops responding, the way to start all over is to literally reset the clock and stop responding or messaging him for a few months. And make sure that within those few months, you're actually working yourself. Make sure that you get in shape. Look, I'm telling you, girl, look, with every girl that has disappeared from a guy's life and came back more in shape and better emotionally, meditating, exercising this inner cycle, they have told me that every single guy, like most of the guys have wanted them back. It's insane. Like it happens with me too. Like every time I remember a girl that looked kind of but then she suddenly just pops out of nowhere on Facebook, like transformation series, like posting six videos or 6 photos of her looking all bad as shit. I'm like, holy shit, well, that's her? Hey, what's up, girl? How you been? hey, how you been? I haven't seen you in a while. What you been up to? Like, it really does happen. So the way to do this is stop responding to him. And even if he contacts you, don't respond. Get in shape, work out, work on yourself, meditate, dummy cycle, and then come back and you'll see the difference, and message him, hey, what's up? Or even get him on Snapchat and send him a snap, a video snap as an introduction. Maybe I should do this a little bit later next time, because I wake up early. I'm an early person, Let me see. By the way, guys, tomorrow I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna be accepting long books as emails, right? I'm gonna post a video later on today. But I'm gonna be, if you have a long question, like a deep question about a problem and you need my answer, I will be responding to them at a fee for each individual question. You see? So take advantage of it. You know, I'm gonna be, for each person's $40. Just send me a fucking good question that's like your problem, like deep and like real shit, you know, so that you're not just wasting your money. I just put that so it's per message, all right? And I'm gonna respond in the form of an audio for each one. And like I always say, I am a very in-depth responder. Okay, I leave no stone unturned. And that's what I'm doing, because I just get too many, right? And this week I made that wrong decision to just dedicate my mornings to coaching, and it's like, you know, I'm like, the videos, what's up with that? It's like, it's effective videos. I'm like, you know, I don't want that. So, you know, just be aware of that for this week. You need to have a sex series. No. See, there are some things that you know, there's some things that I don't cover in this topic. Like, I like to be niche related. You know, I give relationship advice. I believe there are better sex experts out there. Okay, I don't try to act like I know everything. You know, I try. For me, the mark of a good teacher is when they say I don't know. Right? You know, I don't know. Hey, don't get the wrong impression though. You know, don't get the wrong impression. All right, don't get the wrong impression. Don't be spreading rumors now. Let's see. And I like doing this. But anyways, I may be done for today. But if you guys want a good book, a good author, go to Amazon and check out Rupert Spira. I'm actually no. Look for it later on. I'm gonna send you guys a link to it. It's a good, because there's a book. This book, the book that I have, the what you call it, the transparency of things. It's good, but it has a rough beginning. Like the beginning is like difficult to understand. Like I'm like, oh shit, because he's breaking down consciousness to such a deep level. It's insane. Let me teach some of the parts of it. Like it says, consciousness is always presence. Not only in deep sleep, but in dreaming and waking state as well. As peace is inherent in consciousness, peace must also be present at all times, under all conditions, and in all states. It does not make sense to talk about presence of consciousness at all times, because consciousness does not exist in time. Time exists as an idea in consciousness. However, we have to accept these limitations of language if we are to speak of presence. If peace is independent of all conditions of the body, mind, and the world, it implies that peace is not a state, that it does not come and go. It is present behind and within all appearances of the body, mind, and the world. For these reasons, peace cannot be a result of an activity in the body, mind, or world. It cannot be an outcome of a practice. It cannot be created, maintained, or lost. It always is. In fact, we can go further than that and say that just as everything is ultimately an expression of consciousness, so ultimately is everything an expression of peace. Every experience is a shape of silence. That book's dope. That book's amazing, y'all. Like, everyone should definitely read that. Like, that book is amazing. I think that's it. Like, I feel like I'm overstaying my welcome. All right. Goodbye, guys. Bye-bye.